Hello, in this video I'm going to be talking about the FBA Inbound Placement Fees, do you know how much it costs you each month, and to make sure that it's not killing your profit. So in this video I'm going to show you where to find the fees and how much Amazon is charging you month to month to pay for their service. So if you look at the headlines, beginning of 2024, Amazon started forcing everybody to pay these inbound placement fees. So as you can see, people are complaining on Reddit about it, as well as if you're creating shipments, you can see the total inbound placement fees. But do you know how much total you're paying month to month? And so now that we've had a couple months of data, you can start to see how much Amazon is charging you each month. And the way to find that is we're going to go through Seller Central here and click on, move this. Click on Payments and click on Reports Repository. So once the page loads, what we're going to do is we're going to pull all the transaction data that Amazon uses, so we can find what the transaction, the placement fees are. But you can use the same process for other service fee that Amazon charges. What I like about these unified reports, or I call it the unified transaction report, is that it basically has all your financial data, how much Amazon charges, how much, like every fee that Amazon charges is going to be here, because that's what the number they use to show you how much they pay you at the end of the month or every 2 weeks in their settlement. So let's get started. All right, so you want to choose all and then transaction, not the summary, and then I'm going to run the report from January to May. So we're on June 13th here, 2024. But I want to run it for 5 months so we can see over time. And you're going to have to click this request report. It can take up 10 to 20 minutes. So I've requested the report here, so I will download that so you can see. Once you download it, this is what it looks like. And this is the raw report here. So I'm going to show you how to build a pivot table to see the fees month to month. So what I'm going to first do is delete these header rows here. And then I'm going to freeze the top rows, so that way it doesn't the titles stay there in place. The other thing I want to do is I'm going to filter it, so it makes it gives me the ability to filter things easily. I'm going to shrink these columns down so that you will only see the totals at the end. You can so that way we are only looking at this column, which is what really matters to us, right? So I'm going to highlight that color yellow so you can see, and it's the dollar amount. So the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make this column, as you can see right now, it's in text. The reason being is it has this PST and PDT in there, and Excel doesn't recognize it as date time. So I'm going to do find and replace, which is Control H, and I'm going to replace all the space. So this is going to be space PST. I'm going to click replace all. So as you can see, it changed all the PST to blank. So remove the PST, and now Excel recognizes it as a date time. I'll explain why in a second. But you also have to do PDT as well. So that it removes all the PDT and PST. PDT means Pacific Daylight Saving Time, and you can look it up. But that's the reason to do that is so that Excel recognizes that this is a date time. So the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make this as month and year, because I want to create a pivot column. Let me go back to the data here and filter, make sure that month and year are included in there. The reason is I want to group it by month, and then if you want to do more than 1 month, more than 1 year, you can also group it by 1 year. So I'm going to use the month formula. So by converting it to date time, Excel will recognize that these are ability to look at the calculate to find the month of it. So I'm going to change this to this green color, and double click down so it copies that formula down to the bottom. 50,000 rows, 100 here, no, 150,000 rows here. And then I'm going to do the same thing, but for the year here, formatting as green as well, so that way we can get the year. So what we're going to do is create a pivot table to see it month by month. So we're going to insert, I selected all the data here by clicking this corner, click pivot table, and it's going to ask create a new worksheet. I'm going to click yes, new worksheet, click OK. So it created this pivot table, which allows us to slice and dice the data. So the first thing I'm going to do is scroll down to the month. You can do year and month, so I'm going to select year and month, and those are going to be rows, the month and year. So as you can see, I've downloaded the first 5 months. That's why you only see 2024, but if you have more data than that, it will show in there as well. And then the other thing we want to do is get the total. So the total amount, sum total amount is in there. That's what we're looking at. But this is for everything. So we're going to filter down to type as well as description. And we're going to move that type up here and the description to here. So that way we can select the description. Actually, the description I'm going to move to columns. We don't want to do that yet. Well, okay, that was faster than I expected. I thought it was going to crash Excel. But the type, you want to choose the service fee, because that's where the manual placement fees are. As you can see, the reason I put in the description here is so that we can see all the other fees. But this is the way you can review all the other fees. And so as you can see, let me reduce these down so you can see here on the same page. Yep. Those are just coupons there. But month over month, you can see that in April, when Amazon started charging inbound placement fees, we paid $791. In May, we pay $494. You can do the same thing for other service fees. You can do advertising, liquidations, and adjustments. You can play around with that. But for this video, I wanted to show the inbound placement fees. The thing you want to keep an eye out is you probably should do this once a month or once every few months to keep an eye on these numbers to make sure they're reasonable. I also take a look at we paid some manual processing fees in the past, but because they've shifted to box content, we're paying less and less on our e-commerce business. But advertising, you can keep out on how much you're paying for advertising. So this is a great way to look at the fees to make sure that it's not killing your profitability on particular SKUs. Things are on low profit margin. You might want to keep an eye on that to make sure that they're not profitable anymore. So that's how you run the report to see what the placement fees are month to month. And if you're a Seller Labs customer, we've also created an app called the monthly Amazon fees, which is really doing the same thing, but a little bit more to it. So in here we created, right now it's in the lab, so you can get to monthly in the beta, so it's available to anybody who's a Seller Labs customer with any of our products there. You can get the look at the ad spend, and you can see the inbound placement fees. It's really doing the same thing, but you can see a lot more type of fees. And you can also keep an eye out on your percentage, your fee percentage, total fee percentage, as a percentage of sales. So that way you can see if they're reasonable or not. So that's it for this video on where to find your placement fees, how to do a pivot table to look at it to make sure it's reasonable. And I hope that helps you keep an eye out to make your business more profitable.